Hey, Nicole here. So, are you interested in finding out how your partner feels about you and how your partner feels about your love relationship? I'm going to do a little tutorial to show you how to find out what their perspective is on the relationship. I love this little trick. It's a technique called the Marks chart, and I'll put a link below for the website that you can go to where I got this technique from. I've actually stumbled upon this last summer, and in all the years I've been studying astrology and practicing astrology for 20 something years, I've never heard of this, and it is really cool, and it's an uncanny way to find out the POV of each partner, how they really see the relationship. With our tutorial, the first thing that you want to do before any type of relationship, how shall we say, forensics or analysis, is you want to really understand each individual partner, okay? So you will have already done birth chart analysis for both partners. You really need to understand your partner's motivators. You need to understand what they need and what they want, okay? So a relationship is a place where two people come together to have needs met and to have desires satiated and for companionship, etc., etc. But we all are built slightly differently and will have varying levels of need, right, in these different areas. So understanding your partner's needs before you look at how they see the relationship will give you more insight into how they're affected by the relationship, okay? Now, first thing you're going to do after you've done that, you're going to go ahead and create a Davison chart. So for those of you who are new to astrology and learning how to play around with it, you need to go to astro.com if you haven't already. It's a fantastic free resource, and it's got everything from the 9,000 year ephemeris to chart drawing software, all different types of charts that you can draw up for free. And it's also, you've got your daily horoscopes and things like that by Rob Hand, I believe, delineated by Rob Hand, and all kinds of things. So anyway, if you haven't been to astro.com yet, go. Now, on their website, you're going to go to extended chart selection. If you don't have an account, you'll have to create an account. It's free, but like a little guest account. Go to extended chart selection. I would recommend just making an account. I think you can have up to 100 charts for free with a free account with them. So then you're going to go ahead to extended chart selection, go to just the circular charts, I believe is what it says on the drop down, and you're going to create a Davison. Just select the first. There's several different options, different types of Davison charts. Just select the first one, okay? And for the place, put the place where you and your partner are at this point in time, okay? So wherever you live. Okay, now, with a Davison, what we're looking at, this is a chart that's created. It's an actual day in time and space that's exactly between your two birthdays. Okay, the time is even, it's like the midpoint. It's between the times of birth as well. So it's a really cool chart because it's one that you can actually use for progressions and for transits and things like this. And you can also do what we're going to do in this video, which is you can take the relationship chart and you can do a synastry with either partner to the relationship chart, okay? And you can also do a Davison with the Davison, okay? Which is the fun tool, trick I'm going to teach you in a second. Now, once you've got the Davison up, take a good look at this. Now, this is the relationship itself. And really, Davisons are a type of a composite chart. Composite charts are not necessarily activated until you're in a relationship with this person. It's because it's the couple, it's living together, it's kind of how you function in each other's lives together as an entity. So if you have a relationship that's, let's say, Cancer Sun, or you have a relationship that's maybe, well, we'll go with Cancer Sun. If you got a Cancer Sun relationship, this is one that requires a lot of closeness, of emotional connection, and privacy. This is a couple that perhaps need to spend a lot of time together, not necessarily with other folks. And this is, of course, just looking at the sun. There's much more to a chart than the sun. But you're going to go through the chart. You're going to look at the luminaries, the sun and the moon. Where do they fall? Which houses are they in? Of course, which zodiac signs are they in? You're going to look at the personal planets. So the Mercury will show you the relationships, communication flavor, if there's blockages, if there's, dishonesty in the relationship, or disillusionment, or sort of like a communication where things are lost in translation. That'll show up if you've got Neptune to the Mercury. But also back to the sun, what's really important in composites and in Davisons, you want to see sun conjunct Venus, or sun making some sort of nice aspect to Venus, or Venus to the moon. Venus represents romance and love, and in a romantic relationship you would like to see, ideally, the luminaries, which are the sun and the moon, one of them making some nice contact to Venus, okay? Traditionally, the sun is the entity of the relationship. So you put it next to Venus, that means it's a love relationship, okay? It's a relationship where it's two people who enjoy each other, and they have a mutual caring for one another. The love energy of the relationship is in the same energy as the purpose of the relationship, the sun. So it's a relationship that's headed in this direction of, connection, love, closeness, relationship, etc. All right. Now look at the house placements. Really important. The sun house placement is going to tell you so much about the relationship. In fact, I should do a video where I go through each house, just the sun and the moon, for composite charts. That sun, if it's in the first house, the fourth house, seventh house, 10th house, these are relationships that feel like important life relationships, okay? These are relationships that are an important part of your life, part of your identity and your development of your identity, okay? They're relationships that have sort of an external, they're the kind where it's not, they're sort of out in the open, okay? People know that you're a couple. It's not sort of the clandestine relationships that you can see when you move into some of the water houses, okay? If it falls into the second house, the fifth house, the 8th house, or the 11th house, these are the fixed signs. If your relationship falls into one of those houses, the relationship will have a feel, a flavor that is, it's got a solidity to it. There's a desire for security many times. Other than the 11th house is a little different because it's Aquarius, but there is this sort of sense that this relationship has a pretty solid foundation to it. It's almost a transformational. These houses too are really transformational in my mind. Taurus, the second house, not quite as much, but it does deal with issues of possession, security, jealousy. That's our second house, 8th house axis, and then you've got 5th house, 11th house axis. You've got those Leo Aquarius issues of self-expression versus collective expression. I'm having some hair problems here, so you've got these issues of freedom and possession, okay? And then they kind of can clash with each other. So just depending on where that sun falls. If you've got a relationship sun that falls into a house that is let's see, 3rd house, 6th house, 9th house, or 11th or 12th house, those are the houses that are the mutable signs. These are relationships that deal with issues of sacrifice. If you've got 6th, 12th house, and 12th house is a very karmic house. It's got taken a sort of a beating, and it's got a bad rap as being this awful place to have a relationship sun in. And it is a challenging placement, but to me it's because it's a karmic placement for the sun. The relationship itself is kind of hidden in there. And so this is where you start to see perhaps relationships that are more private and not so out in the open. If you've got the 6th house, you've got relationships where they're dealing with issues of one person serving and taking care of the other one perhaps, or issues of, that dominance versus, or not dominance, but it's kind of like one person has a lot of control over the other person's life, okay, in a sense. And then with the 3rd house and the 9th house, these are our houses of communication. These are our houses of change, right? There's travel traditionally, but it's also inwardly. These are houses of these exchange of ideas. It's houses of growth, and so relationships that fall in these houses will be fun, and they'll be active, and they'll be a couple that if you've got two people who are naturally, let's say we've got two Virgos we've got a Virgo with a Cancer moon, and we've got a Capricorn Taurus moon or something. Two people that are pretty kind of do their thing and maybe a little bit keep to themselves and introverted, and then you get them into a relationship that has a placement in the 3rd or the 9th house with the sun. That's a relationship where perhaps they will have to get out together and still be sort of introverted and insular, but sort of out in the world. This is like the couple that maybe they get together and they I don't know, open a used bookstore or something, like it's a combination of spreading wisdom and knowledge out into the world around them, but an adventure, but at the same time still staying true to who they are each individually. Okay, so now that's just a little quickie diversion on the houses, and I'm going to do a video where we go through each house. That'd be really cool, actually. So now back to what we were originally the point of this video. So if you've got your Davison chart and you've looked at the luminaries, you've looked at the personal planets. Okay, that's Mercury, Venus, Mars. You've looked to see how the communication is. You've looked to see how how you love each other, how you're affectionate with one another, how you take care of each other emotionally. Okay, and of course that's the moon is going to tell you so much about the flavor of the relationship. Please don't let it be. I can't say it enough. The moon, in my mind, in any individual birth chart or in any interpersonal chart or in the moons or in any composite relationship chart, the moon is the heart. That's the emotion. Maybe I have a moon in the 8th house, so maybe that's why I'm so into the moon. But to me, that tells you about the soul of the relationship, what the couple needs to feel safe and secure and loved, and it's home. This is home. So the moon of the relationship tells you what home needs to look like, what it will feel like. You've got a couple with a moon in Sagittarius, okay? And probably it's a relationship that needs a lot of on the go. Or needs a lot of growth. It needs a sense of freedom where both partners still feel free to explore the world around them and then come back together, okay? Maybe do that together as a couple where they spend time out in nature or something, hiking, things like that, So the moon is how you'll be refed, the relationship itself, how it will be reborn and rebirthed. It's the unconscious part of the psyche. So the relationship itself is a little entity, and it's the part that needs to be fed and taken care of. Okay, so if this is really important, your moons, look at how your two moons, how they aspect the relationship moon. If you've got a relationship that has a watery moon and you've got one partner who's got a moon that's air and one partner who's got a moon that's, earth, let's say, then the relationship may be more sort of stabilizing to the partner who has the earthy moon. It might nourish them and feed them. And the person who has the air moon may feel at times a little like it's a little too much, the relationship's a little too heavy. And so, do you see? So it's just like doing a Syanstry between two people. It's just, you're not looking at chemistry and like what attracts people to each other, to one another. You are looking at how the relationship in your everyday working life, how the relationship is affecting both partners. If that makes sense. Okay, so you've looked at your personal plans. You can look at the Mars as well if you want to see if there's fighting in the relationship. Look at how that Mars makes aspects to the natal chart of the partner. If you've got Mars squaring their sun, or it could be a relationship where this person, again, it depends on the zodiac sign of that sun. Okay, if we have a soft Pisces sun in the 2nd house, let's say, and the relationship squares, the Mars of a relationship squares this person's, let's make it their moon actually, squares their moon, right? This is going to be a relationship that's painful maybe for this person, or it's going to activate because Mars activates you. It causes you to do something. It causes a reaction. So the relationship might be one where it's literally, it could be one, you can see this in abusive relationships where, perhaps there's some sort of pain that comes from the relationship, or it could be that there's a friction from the relationship, or there is a cutting feeling to the relationship, or it could be, and it can actually, Mars to the moon, if it's in a soft aspect like a trine, or it's in a a sextile, maybe even a conjunction, all that's going to feel if it's a conjunction, it's going to activate your emotions. You're going to feel fired up, and it could just feel passionate to you, you know. But in a nice little bit of energy, like a trine, it's going to maybe emotionally, you know, get you to if it's in water, it just depends on the element it's in. If it's in water, you know, then it could be a relationship that feels very full of emotion. Like you could feel like your emotions are coming out of you all the time. It's because it's activating whatever it's hitting. Okay, so anyway, after you're done with sort of taking a peek at that, you're going to go ahead and make another chart. Geez, how could I forget? Super important. Look at the nodal axis. So the north node and the south node, which is of course opposite, exactly opposite the north node. North node represents the direction your soul is headed in this life. If you believe in past lives, the south node in evolutionary astrology represents the past lives of the soul, okay? These are the lessons that we have so far. The south node is like the lessons, it's like the things we know. We've done those. We have a master's degree, PhD in those particular lessons. The north node is going to show those areas that you're not really great at, but I've noticed it's this, you'll have a sort of an unconscious desire to move towards those energies. Okay, so look at the house that your partner's north node is in and look at the zodiac sign. So if we've got someone who has a north, I'll use mine because I know mine, north node in Libra, okay, north node in Libra in the second house. North node in Libra is all about relationship. It means that in the past past lives, right, I would have had many experiences of being independent, solo in that Aries place where I'm having to fight for survival. It's in the 8th house as well. So, you know, these themes of war, themes of just pioneering, and they are things that appeal to me, you know, still. So the idea when there's an issue in my life, where do I typically tend to move towards? I'm going to move towards behaving through whatever my south node is in. My south node is in Aries. So I usually, when there's a problem, I usually just try to take care of it myself. I don't always ask for help, etc. In relationships of all kinds. So now you can see I'm supposed to be learning about this Libra, these Libra traits. And so I have a sun in Libra, because I'm a full moon baby, but I have a sun in Libra and a north node in Libra and Pluto in the second house. So I'm here to learn about exercising my own individual identity through relationships. I'm also here to learn about my personal power, that I have the ability in my life to create whatever it is that I want to create. This is, you know, second house is our, you know, of course our finances, but it's also our possessions, it's our talents. It's all about taking your energy though, and with that energy creating something that you yourself have created. I have to learn how to do it through partnership. Okay, so asking for help, collaborating with people, you know, etc. Okay. That's kind of a ramble, but look at their north node. Look at the partner's north node, not the relationship. Look at the partner's north node. What is making aspect to the north node, okay? And if you want to, there are many who believe that when you've got north node contacts or south node contacts would be past life, that this person was an important person in a past life of yours. You got a conjunction to the south node, look at what the planet is, look at where it falls, and that will tell you. You can even see, you know, male, female, relationship status, you know, perhaps even you can draw a picture of what the past life maybe was. If they're making contact to your north node, that means they are here on your path. You're supposed to be in each other's lives to learn these lessons that are new to you, right? So the north node is that part of you that you haven't mastered yet. Here comes a person who holds that energy in their makeup. So they're here to teach you about those north node lessons. Okay, it's pretty cool. You can, with the relationship, look at the south node of the relationship and see past life, what the relationship was too, which is really cool and fascinating. All right, now, after you've looked at the nodal axis, we're going to create this next chart called the Marks chart. I found this online, the website, what is his name? Bob Marks? Yeah, I think it's his name. I'll put the link up. I'm sorry, my brain isn't functioning right now. I can't remember the name of his website exactly, but I'll put it on the end or on the notes. This is such a cool tool. So you take the Davison chart that you just made and you take your partner's chart, okay? And you're going to go back in and create, just like we just did, another Davison chart between these two. Now, this chart shows you the partner's POV, their point of view, on the relationship, how the relationship makes them feel, okay? So in this one, I always look at the sun as though, I look at everything, all the planets as though this is the partner, not the relationship anymore, okay? So this is from the partner's perspective, the relationship. The sun will tell you, you know, the importance of the relationship in this person's life. So if you've got, you know, Sun conjunct Venus again, then that means this is an important love relationship for someone. If you've got, and that's primarily what it feels like to them. If you've got Mars there, perhaps it's a relationship that feels very passionate, or one where it causes a lot of strife for the person. Again, it depends on their natal chart. Do they have a strong Mars in their natal chart or not? You know, so that will tell you. You've always got to refer back to the natal chart, because that's what's going to tell you if this is working for this person or not, okay? Because every sign has a high side and a low side. So you can read Mars as, you know, it's traditionally a malefic planet, but to me, in modern astrology, Mars can be seen high side or shadow side, good or bad, an activator, or it can be something that causes fighting and problems, okay? So yeah, so look back at the natal chart to compare it with what you've got going on in the March chart. I feel like also each of these, so as you're looking at the different personal planets, and of course the moon, if you want to know how this person feels, how that relationship makes them feel, it's right there. If you want to see how, if it's flavored, that's what I love about the sun and the moon being, when they have conjunctions with other planets, because it flavors that experience, right? So if you put Mercury next to the sun, for example, then this relationship feels like a relationship where the person enjoys the communication, or it's a relationship that has a lightness and a free flow of information between the two partners, okay? If you put Pluto conjunct the sun, right, then it's going to be a relationship that may feel a little more obsessive, issues of control and dominance and power and manipulation. Those will all be sort of flavors that this person may feel in the relationship. And again, if you've got someone who's got strong Pluto in their natal chart, they will be attracted to that. This relationship is here to mirror what they already have within them. So this is the power of astrology. The whole point in studying astrology and in understanding other human beings through the lens of astrology is to understand yourself. And it's for self-improvement, it's for self-awareness. You can't fix something if you're asleep to it. But if you're awake and aware of it, then you grow, right? And you grow in compassion, you grow in understanding of other humans and of yourself, and acceptance. You know, I love astrology for this reason, because I see all these relationship charts. There are all different types of relationships, but there are very rarely times when I've done a reading where a chart has really, or charts have seemed excessively good or excessively negative, you know? I mean, they're both, like I said, there are high side and low side to all the energies present in the astrology. So now, let's see, I'm looking at my notes here, sorry. Okay, so lastly, you know, with this information, ultimately the goal in a relationship is for both people, like I said earlier, to get their needs met. And if you've got a relationship where maybe you're looking at the charts and things aren't great, that's no reason, that's no cause for sadness or worry. It just means that this relationship will be a teaching relationship. All relationships are, even if they're ones that are perfect and easy, right? You're there maybe to learn about accepting love, right? If they're perfect and easy. If it's a relationship where there's a lot of issues of control or power or mind games, perhaps this is shining a light back onto you and the things that you need to let go of, etc. So relationships are beautiful classrooms where we get to learn about ourselves and about other human beings, and ultimately just to make us better, more loving people. So all right, if you're interested in having an astrology reading done, just give me an inbox, come to my website, moderncosmic.com. I'm building it right now, so I will have a free course up. I've got a few of the lessons up so far. There are 12 lessons, and it's called Language of the Stars. It's an Astrology 101 course for people who are just learning, but you never know, you might find something in there that is new to you, even if you've been a student of astrology. So, and I hope to be getting I'll be getting some blog posts up regularly once I get the structure of the site all built out. So come visit me over there and give me a jingle. Okay, have a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye.